Welcome to the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast with your host, Ed Burkeen.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever and wherever you may be listening to us, you have your ears locked into the Caps Locks and Chair Shots podcast. My name is Ed Burkeen. I'm your host for these festivities. And joining me, as always, he is the muscle of the podcast, future wrestling champion, and voice of all of Southeast Asia. He is the one, the only, the Jaime.
What's up, wrestling fans? Let's get things started.
And also joining me, he is my arch nemesis, my tag team partner, and my very best friend. You know him from all around the internet, but you can only find his wrestling stuff right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Bananas.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? It's good to be back. I missed the last show that they did. Had some stuff going on, so they had a great fill-in. It was a great show to listen to. But we are back, and we are here to tell you guys to suck it.
Not quite. Although, we do have something that Jaime decided to share with me just a little while ago.
Nan's a faggot.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, is just because we are on an iTunes-only show. All right. So we're going to begin the show as we begin every show, and that's with our one big takeaway. So, guys, what is your one big takeaway? Jaime, give me something.
Takeover War Games.
You care to discuss it, or you just want to mention it and we'll move on?
Well, all the matches were awesome, but the War Games match never disappoints. Year 2 and it's still as good.
Fair enough. Daniel?
My big takeaway is that Jaime doesn't understand the purpose of big takeaways after doing the show for over a year. Do you need me to elaborate on that one?
I would love for you. What is your definition of a one big takeaway?
It would be to give something a specific detail about a specific event. So, for example, I'm going to say my big takeaway is the Velveteen Dream is the most over character in the WWE right now.
Okay, fair enough. Now,
how specific that was, Jaime?
I don't care. Nan's a faggot.
Love it. Love everything
We're not
about
on
it.
Twitch, just for you guys listening to this on the podcast, so there's going to be a lot of banter going back and forth.
That is very true. And I want to point out the irony in this, because for about 6 months, me and Dan weren't sure that Jaime wasn't gay. And for Jaime to call Dan gay just because of his hair, pretty interesting. Anyway.
But here's the thing. I'm still not sure that he doesn't at least go both ways.
Hey, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not at all. Absolutely not. He will still be one of my closest, furthest away friends.
Likewise.
But I mean, it's Jaime. I can't be sure.
Can we move the show forward? We kind of got a lot of stuff to cover, and we are time condensed. Sorry, Anna was trying to teach me sign language. Anyway, my one big takeaway was the fact that I actually got the new Nitro book and discovered a whole lot of obscure absurdity is what I'll go with there, about stuff like the Shockmaster, the fact that Rick Steiner was the dog-faced gremlin and argued with a Chucky doll, everything about Sid Vicious or Sid Justice or whatever he was called, but his quote, "You're not half the man I am, and I have half the brain you do," to Kevin Nash was beautiful. That was going to be it, but I was listening to ESPN on my drive home today, and the head of TBS Sports, a guy named Dave Levy, said that he has a new franchise due to the Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson thing, where they did their whole $10 million golf match, whatever. So maybe this opens the door for a crossover pay-per-view, a one-time only thing? Maybe?
No, Ed, you're drunk and high. That's why we can't be on Twitch all the time.
I wish. All right. Dan, since you weren't here, Jaime, we're going to get to your thoughts on it as well. You wanted to talk about Survivor Series. It's that kind of a day, folks. And we couldn't get a one-night only show together. So, give me your thoughts on Survivor Series.
I'm glad we didn't do the one night only show because that show sucked.
Whatever.
I thought it was awful.
I mean, kind of, but what did you think of the beatdown? And you know which beatdown I'm talking about, right?
I liked it. You're talking about the Rousey beatdown, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. That was probably the highlight of the show. What doesn't make sense to me is the show itself wasn't bad, but the aftermath of it, right? You don't mention the fact that SmackDown has lost every match in the show except for one. The one match that was on the pre-show. Like, what was the point of having them get swept?
Further the Baron Corbin story, maybe? Jaime, what do you think?
Well, what I think about it is that they're trying to push Baron Corbin right now. And, Steph already gave her word that the Raw has to sweep, and that's what they had to do. It's not like there wasn't a major effect on both shows.
But the thing is Raw didn't sweep. They lost the tag team match.
Well, it's on the pre-show. Who watches the pre-show?
I did, because that was probably the best match of them all.
We do. But talk about the majority of the wrestling fan base. Who else watches the pre-show?
I just think that this wasn't well thought out at all, and they either need to end the brand split or they need to reconsider how the state of WWE is terrible right now. But that's a different story for a different day.
We're gonna have that show because I completely disagree with you on that. But Jaime, you gotta realize there are no casual wrestling fans anymore. Everybody that tunes in for 3 hours on Monday, for 2 hours on Tuesday, for an hour on Wednesday, for the Facebook mixed match challenges, they all watch the pre-show. This was pulling the wool over absolutely nobody's eyes. That argument's invalid. It just is. Dan, what the Survivor Series matches? What's up with that? Oh, I missed the Hurricane.
I wish I could give you the best match of the night for me was probably Lesnar Bryan.
Okay. Jaime, what was your best match of the night?
Maybe Shinsuke Seth, now that I think about it a little bit more. But I don't know. I just have a very sour taste in my mouth with the state of the product right now.
I'm going with Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali.
Why wouldn't
I feel like that, aside from the Shinsuke Seth, I think that's the match with the most legit pops from the crowd.
Well, you both are wrong, and let me tell you why. It's the beatdown. I mean, it was a fantastic match, and then for it to end that way, to put Charlotte over that hardcore, that was the best match of the night, even with a smosh ending.
I really think that's the best way to end the match anyway.
Okay. Now, since we're going through the, current event topics part of the show, anything important come out of Raw? Because honestly, I wrote this script Tuesday morning, and I don't remember anything from that night.
See, and that's what I want to, man, I know you had a script wrote out, and I know I said I was on a time crunch, but I really actually want to have that conversation about the state of the product, right now.
How about we save it to the end of the show? Sound good? There's your tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. I don't want to wait, but okay.
Okay, so let's move on to SmackDown then. We found out we're getting the first ever women's TLC match, which would be huge news on any other night, and we may talk about it later. But can we talk about what Samoa Joe said? Because this is the first time the WWE has openly acknowledged Jeff Hardy's substance abuse issues. And they did it in a very spectacular way. I'm amazed. Jaime, what do you think? Did you get to see it?
Not all. And that became kind of like tea break because Jeff Hardy's that's it. What's to celebrate? I just thought, what's to celebrate about Jeff Hardy? We all know what his accomplishments were in and out of the ring, how he overcame this and that, and his accomplishments championship wise. So, but I regret that I didn't see the whole thing.
It was his 20th anniversary of signing with the WWE. which is kind of a backhanded slap to Matt Hardy, who signed at the exact same time, and who's arguably a better and more over character. But that was basically it. He spent 20 years there. It seemed an awful lot like a retirement speech until he came out and said, this is definitely not a retirement speech. And then Samoa Joe lit into it. Dan, you saw it, right?
I did. I saw part of it, yes.
Give me some thoughts, buddy.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't really like when they do that type of stuff.
Oh, no. It's not about ceremony. The ceremony was whatever. It's about the promo that ended that ceremony.
I mean, Joe always has great promos. Like, I don't know what else to say there. Like, he always has great promos.
Yeah, but he openly acknowledged the fact that Jeff Hardy's a drunk. That he was high when he did most of the stuff that he did, falling off of ladders. And let's be honest, he probably was. The fact that
absolutely. And that's what I mean by I don't really like that kind of stuff, because I feel like when you talk about substance abuse in any way, shape, or form, there's certain things that should be left basically unsaid, especially when it comes to let's just call this fiction, for lack of a better term that I can think of right now.
Okay.
I just think that when you have young children watching the product, and that's the product that you're trying to portray, you're trying to be PG-13, why are you talking about substance abuse and bringing that up when you could celebrate that that he signed 20 years ago? That's my whole thing.
But, I mean, if they're going to celebrate that he signed 20 years ago, which is fine, I have no problem with that. Where's Big Show celebration? Where's Kane?
Right, and it feels like the whole point of that celebration was to start the substance abuse.
Well, what I think about that is, they're trying to force it upon children so that children will feel ashamed of even starting to attempt to do substance abuse.
And if that's the case, I'm cool with it. But
that wasn't what I took away from it.
Yeah, me either. And I don't know. I love the promo. I love that they actually brought something real it just seems like they're kind of pushing away from that PG-13 thing. We're never going to see another Attitude Era, but we may start to see more of the Ruthless Aggression era come back. And I'm okay with that.
And something in between.
Let's hope so. But we're all here for a different reason. Obviously, our love for wrestling is a wide variety of stuff we all enjoy. But there were two shows that I believe all three of us can say we enjoyed, and that's WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania X-7, or 17 if you will. And given that we are who we are, and we're kind of pushing for content until Dan decided to give us some, we're going to break down WrestleMania 3 versus WrestleMania 17 in our famous fantasy format style. Now,
time out. One quick thing. Because we have been lacking content, let's actually just hold off what I said we were going to hold till the end of the show for a different show, even if it's a shorter one. So that's something that you fans have something to look forward to. We might be able to get that out later this week as well.
Ooh, a tease on a tease. I like it. Anyway, back to what I was doing before I was so rudely interrupted. The rules are as follows. Daniel, you will be assigned every male that has appeared... wow, easy for me to say. Daniel, you will be assigned every male performer at WrestleMania 3. Jaime, you get every male performer at WrestleMania 17. Now, there were some people left off since there were no... What do they call the little... I don't want to say midget because that's not the right PG term, but what do they call the midget wrestlers?
Cruiser.
No, Lucha something. Anyway,
who knows?
Whatever.
The Hornswoggles of the world.
Right. There's none of them because none of them appeared on WrestleMania 17, so I took them out of WrestleMania 3. Also, since no real females wrestled at WrestleMania 3, they're out from WrestleMania 17. And because I didn't want to see, and I know you two, and I know how you two like to screw me over, I didn't want to see something like the Iron Sheik face the Iron Sheik. The Legends Battle Royal participants have been removed from WrestleMania 17. As such, each man has their particular rosters. I'm not going to read them over because I simply don't want to. There will be 9 matches on the card. It will start with an opening tag team match, a 2-on-2, no stipulation. Up next, the European title will be on the line. Daniel, you will pick the stipulation in the 1-on-1 match. Match number 3 will be a 6-man, 3-on-3 tag team affair. Match number 4 will be a hardcore fatal 4-way. It'll be every man for himself, but you each get to nominate 2 men for the job. Match number 5 will be a singles 1-on-1 with no stipulation. We're going to call that the Show Stealer match. However, before we get there, we're going to have an intermission where we go over some of our classic stuff. Match number 6 will be a 2-on-2 tag team championship match. Jaime, you get to pick that stipulation. Match number 7 will be the Intercontinental Championship 1-on-1 straight up. Match number 8 will be a 1-on-1 wild card match where you give me the participants and I give you the stipulation. And then the main event of the evening will be the WWF Championship, a 1-on-1 grudge match. Is it going to be something akin to the Immovable Force and the Irresistible Object? Will it be 2 of the most famous wrestlers of all time squaring off, stealing each other's special moves? You're going to find out at the end of the show. All right, guys, we each have your rosters. Let me tell you how they broke it down in WrestleMania 3. The Can-Am Connection of Rich Martel and Tom Zank defeated Cowboy Bob Orton and the Magnificent Morocco. Billy Jack Haynes took on Hercules, but it ended in a double countout. The Haiti Kid, Hillbilly Jim, and Little Beaver defeated King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook by disqualification because Vince McMahon likes to capitalize on people's shortcomings. Get the joke. All right, Harley Race with Bobby Heenan and the Fabulous Moolah defeated the Junkyard Dog in a Kiss My Foot match, which ended with JYD beating down King Harley Race. The Dream Team of Brutus Beefcake before he became the Barber, and Greg the Hammer Valentine had Dino Bravo and Johnny Valiant in their corner, and they beat the Rougeau brothers of Jacques Rougeau and Raymond Rougeau, who you can also hear as the French voice of the WWE. Rowdy Roddy Piper defeated Adrian Adonis, who had Jimmy Hart in his corner, in a hair versus hair match. Dangerous Danny Davis, a referee turned wrestler, and the Hart Foundation of Bret and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, with Jimmy Hart, defeated the British Bulldogs of Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid and Tito Santana, who Jesse Ventura always liked to call Chico very racist. Butch Reed had Slick in his corner as he defeated Coco Beware in another match filled with racism. In one of the best wrestling matches of all time, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat had George the Animal Steel in his corner as he won the Intercontinental Championship away from Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. In match number 10, the Honky Tonk Man, once again with Jimmy Hart, defeated Jake the Snake Roberts, who brought Alice Cooper to his corner. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, with Slick because that makes sense, defeated the Killer Bees of B. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell by disqualification. And in the main event, Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, who had Bobby Heenan in his corner, to retain the WWF Championship. Daniel, where do you rank WrestleMania number 3?
Top 5.
Jaime?
WrestleMania, top 8.
Interesting. We're going to talk about that on a later show as well. WrestleMania 17 had the X Factor of Just Incredible, my favorite wrestling name, by the way, and X-Pac with Albert in their corner, defeating Grandmaster Sexay and Steve Blackman because he hadn't quite been too cool yet. Chris Jericho retained his WWF Intercontinental Championship against William Regal. Taz and the APA, Bradshaw and Baruch, with Jacqueline, defeated Right to Censor, that was Bull Buchanan, the Goodfather, and Val Venus. Steven Richards was in their corner. It's interesting that Victoria, or Ivory, whatever she was called, was not there as she had a match later on. Kane defeated Raven in the Big Show in one of the most fantastic WWF Hardcore Championships ever. Eddie Guerrero had Perry Saturn in his corner as he won the European Championship away from Test and his testicles. Kurt Angle defeated Chris Benoit in one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. Chyna defeated Ivory for the WWF Women's Championship. Shane McMahon defeated Mr. McMahon with Stephanie McMahon Helmsley and Trish Stratus in a street fight, and Mick Foley was a special guest referee. In that one, we saw Linda McMahon make a miraculous recovery from a coma. Edge and Christian defeated the Dudley Boys of Bubba Ray and Devon and the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, in a TLC match for the WWF Tag Team Championships, arguably the best match of all time. The Iron Sheik won last by eliminating Hillbilly Jim, with participants including Luke Williams, Butch Miller, Duke the Dumpster Droz, Doink the Clown, Nikolai Volkov, Tugboat, the Goon, Earthquake, the Gobbledygooker, Brother Love, Michael PSAs, One Man Gang, Kamala, accompanied by Harvey Whippleman, and Kimchi, Jim Cornette, the Repo Man, and Sergeant Slaughter. They gave all of those men in the Gimmick Battle Royal a grand total of 3 minutes and 7 seconds. The Undertaker defeated Triple H in a singles match, and in the main event of the evening, Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated The Rock for the WWF Championship. Jaime, where is WrestleMania 17?
That's definitely top 10.
How is it not... we're... Later. Daniel, WrestleMania 17, what do you got? Okay, if it's not number 1, what is it? I have to ask.
Maybe number 3.
Fair enough. Jaime, what's the best WrestleMania ever if this isn't it? Is it 18? Is it 1?
For me, it's 20. On a personal level, I'm not looking at match per match or whatever.
Okay.
The one that I marked out for the most was WrestleMania 20.
It sounds like we have another show, and that's Ranking WrestleManias. All right. Guys, it's time for our pre-show match. The following match is scheduled for one fall, a 2-on-2 tag team competition. Daniel, you pick first. Give me your team.
Hold on, you're not going to ask me what my favorite WrestleMania was?
Okay, what's your favorite WrestleMania?
33.
Yeah, the next show we're going to do is Ranking WrestleManias, just FYI. Then we'll talk about...
It's a personal thing, right? This is the first one I ever went to. I cried, Undertaker retired. That's all I thought.
Okay, yeah, well, nobody ever retires in professional wrestling. Can we get back to what, the show was supposed to be before we got really sidetracked?
Yeah, I blame you for that.
I know you do. Okay, all right. Daniel, give me your opening tag team for this pre-show.
One of them is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Bret Hart, okay.
And the other one is Jim, the Anvil Neidhart.
You couldn't just say you're going with the Hart Foundation, could ya?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
I'm going with the Hart Foundation.
Thank you. Jaime, give me your pick.
I like your choice because Dan's choice was the match for my choice because, I'm not really that much of a fan of two very different styles. It really doesn't work that much, but this, I know they could make it work, so I'm going with Matt and Jeff Hardy. The Hardy Boys.
Talk about your dream fantasy pick. The Hardys versus the Harts. You guys made your cases. We are going to give you the results later on. All right. The opening match of this Fantasy WrestleMania is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the European Championship. Daniel, give me the stipulation.
The stipulation is going to be a lumberjack match.
Ooh. Okay. Jaime, since Dan got the pick, give me your European Championship challenger.
I just don't know how it's going to be a lumberjack match, but you can't have the European Championship without William Regal.
Is he Steven Regal? Is he Lord William Regal? Is he the man's man Steven Regal? Or is he Commissioner William Regal?
Well, wouldn't it be the one he was?
What version of William Regal was it at 17?
He was Commissioner William Regal. Just wanted to make sure you guys are on your toes. Daniel, who challenges William Regal?
I mean, it just makes sense to have Davey Boy Smith in there, doesn't it?
Ooh, a little British action. All right, Daniel going strong with the hearts. I dig it. Alrighty, let's move on. The 6-man tag team match. This one goes to Daniel first. Who do you got?
This one is going to be King Kong Bundy,
I somehow knew you were going there.
Brutus Beefcake,
Didn't see that one coming.
and Junkyard Dog.
Okay. All right.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
Yeah. Okay. Jaime, give me your 3.
I'm going with The Godfather, Val Venus, and Steven Richards.
Oh, okay. Just to be clear, he is the good father. So we got a little right to censor action
Godfather.
against other guys. All right.
Don't hate.
I'm not. I don't think. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Hardcore Fatal 4-Way for the Hardcore Championship. We're gonna do this in alternating picks. Since Daniel went first, Jaime, give me one.
I'm gonna go big on ECW here. I'm going with Raven.
Oh, interesting choice. He was in that match in the actual WrestleMania. What else you got?
It's my turn, right?
Yes, Daniel. Yes, what else you got?
Hillbilly Jim.
Interesting. I like it. Daniel, you get the next pick.
The next one is going to be Dynamite Kid.
Okay. All right. Solid. Good worker. Jaime, round out the match.
I think I want to go with no, because the others might be obvious choices. So I'm going to take a swerve here and pick Mick Foley. It's not like he isn't hardcore, right?
Well, he is the hardcore legend and the first ever hardcore champion. All right.
Exactly.
Let's move on. Singles match. This is the show stealer match. Believe Jaime went first, so Daniel, give me your pick.
This is gonna be this one was a little tough for me to choose.
Is it because you're looking at the roster for the first time 5 minutes ago?
No. It's because there's a couple guys that I want to get in, but I'm not going to be able to get everybody in, obviously. But this one, because this can be a show stealer match, we're going to go with Roddy Piper.
Okay. All right. I dig it. I got to find his name here. All right. Jaime, give me your pick.
I hated how you picked him early. I was expecting you to pick him for the IC title. So I have to make my pick early as well. I'm going with Chris Jericho.
Oh, I like that. I just want that match to happen for the promos leading up to that match. Like, I want this to have a solid 6 to 8 week build and just have them, just give them a microphone and about 45 good minutes a night and just let them talk. Just let them go back and forth. I love it. I love everything about it. Jaime, you're up. Tag team match scheduled for one fall. You pick the stipulation. So
I'll go with this stipulation first. So it's going to be a TLC match, and it's going to be Edge and Christian.
you don't get to pick your team. If you pick the stipulation, Dan picks the team.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Daniel?
Take it.
No, I picked the last stipulation.
And he just picked the next one. So
What
you
was
pick
it? I didn't hear.
TLC.
Oh, TLC. Oh man, the team I had set up's not going to do well, but I'm not going to change it now. It's Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
Oh, okay. Jaime, you still sticking with ENC Dynasty?
Well, they have defined TLC, so why not?
Okay. You could have gone a different way there, but I dig your pick. Alrighty, let's go with the Intercontinental Championship match. This is a no stipulation, one-on-one. Jaime, go.
Intercontinental. I really sent my pick up early, so Intercontinental. Wait, I'll need a little bit of more time.
No, you don't get enough time. This is why we did the show. This is why I send you the script. Give me a wrestler.
Okay, I'm just going with Test.
Okay?
Wow.
I mean, okay.
Like the IC title's coming home with the one and only Macho Man Randy Savage.
Thank you, Daniel, because I was hoping you'd pick him because you set me up for something. If you happen to come into pretty much anywhere in Eastern Ohio, you can pick up a Crossroads magazine. They are free at several different outlets. And in this month's edition, you will read about the Macho Man, as he actually went to high school in one of the local high schools right there in Zanesville, Ohio. He counts as one of the most famous Ohioans in sports. That's why he is in Crossroads magazine. Did a fantastic write-up on him. Found out a lot of very, very fantastic stuff. You can pick that up anywhere magazines are free in Eastern Ohio. That's Crossroads magazine. Look for famous Ohioans in sports. Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay, we're going to match number 8. 1-on-1, and this one is the wild card match. I pick. Who picked first?
I pick first.
Go,
And
Dan.
this is going to... Where was it? Jake Roberts.
Jake the Snake. Alrighty. Jaime.
Since you picked Jake the Snake, I'll have to go with Chris Benoit.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Alright.
His name's here.
There's a lot of ways we can go with this. Will it be a submission match? Will it be something hardcore? Perhaps an Iron Man match, although I doubt Jake the Snake has the stamina. Let's spin the Wheel of Destiny. And we have hit submission. So in a submission match, it'll be Jake the Snake Roberts against Chris Benoit. All right, guys. We have hit the main event. 1-on-1, no stipulation. The WWF Championship is on the line. Daniel, you have a lot of interesting names out here. Jaime, you have stars galore. Jaime, it's your pick. Give me one.
I'm going with Triple H here. I know I blew it. I might have blew it, but I like Triple H to main event that event.
Fair enough. Daniel.
We're going with Triple H in 17. I don't feel like he really hit his peak just quite yet. So, I think the person that I'm going to be picking is easily at the peak, the prime of their career. And you know what, brother? They're going to be leaving with the title. Hulk Hogan.
Now, have we ever seen this match before? Like, was this a match that took place when Hogan came back as either... What was he?
I honestly don't remember. I don't believe we have.
Interesting. Now, we're going to get to the results. I'm going to tell you how everything happened here in a minute. We're actually going to take our intermission right now. And as we do in just about everything else, we're going to get Dan's Hot Girl of the Show. And we're going to get Jaime's Fight or Match of the Show. So, we're going to go with you first, Jaime. I know it's a little unconventional. I know we don't do this very often, where we put you ahead of Dan. And honestly, I feel bad about that. So, let me get your fight or match of the show.
Fight of the show, not everyone might have seen it, but if you guys have been tuning in to The Ultimate Fighter, one is Pino versus Maurice Green. The build-up, like the episodes prior to their eventual showdown, and how quick the match was, and the heavyweight division has a future now.
Interesting. Anything else you got there? How about a match of the show? As we clearly stall because Dan is in the bathroom.
Match of the show? Could that be wrestling or just MMA?
Jaime, we've been doing this for 18 months. It could be anything. Anything you want.
Well, one of my favorite matches of the week were Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa. We didn't discuss that in deep detail, so I believe I could throw that in.
Fair enough. Now, who's Aleister Black taking on? Like, what is his feud going on right now? Bueller.
I just got back.
Yeah.
Who's Aleister Black's opponent there? Who was he at War Games? Who did he face?
Johnny Gargano.
So basically what they did was they took Gargano and Ciampa and switched who they were fighting. Or they basically took the Dream and Black and Gargano and Ciampa from the last War Games and just flip-flopped them, right? Or was that a pay-per-view before that?
What?
No, I mean, yes, they have gone at each other recently, yes.
Interesting. Okay. Just something to look out for. Appreciate it, Jaime. Daniel, hot girl of the show. Who you got?
So, we were doing a little research. You guys know what I'm talking about.
No.
Whether or not... Oh, yeah, you do, because we talked about it in our group chat. About whether or not Alexa Bliss is still engaged.
Yes, we did. We did talk about that. Do you have any inside information?
I have found stuff that says it both ways, so I don't have the slightest clue.
So
no idea.
You're saying there's a chance she's available?
I'm saying that, yes, there is a chance.
There is a chance!
Based off of pictures and everything like that.
Fair.
And normally, if I am bringing up Alexa Bliss, you guys would normally assume that I'm going to pick her as the hot girl of the show.
Oh, she's not?
And that is where you're wrong. I'm going to...
Tell me why. Tell me why.
I mean, she easily could be. But I figured, we should give some other people a chance.
That's a first. Go ahead.
And,
if it's the Iconics, I'm gonna drive to Baltimore and I'm gonna smack your face.
If what?
If it's the Iconics, I'm gonna smack you in the face.
It is not. We're giving someone else a chance. So we are trying to figure out... I was trying to figure this out earlier. And I decided to go with somebody I don't think I've ever picked before. And I like a lot better with dark hair.
Jaime's mom?
I've picked her before. But we are talking about Carmella.
Ooh. No, you picked her before, too.
Okay, then we're going to go with Liv Morgan. And I know I've picked her before, but that's fine.
That is fine. That is fine.
Man, let me tell you, if I could only live once, literally, I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
I am going to have to isolate what Jaime just did because that is fantastic.
You are going to have to isolate that.
Oh my gosh. I agree with you, Dan. Solid choice.
So is it NXT Liv Morgan or is it Riot Squad Liv Morgan? Those are two different characters.
Well, he's got a point.
It doesn't matter. It's Liv Morgan.
He's got a point.
It's the same. She looks the same.
Yeah, but...
I like the Riot Squad better.
Hold on. While we're on the topic of this, can we get some appreciation for Paige? She seems to have filled out a little bit in the greatest of places. I know she got stuff done and she's got a movie coming out, but yes, and Charlotte too. Yes.
Oh, no, dude, you're not gonna get any arguments out of me. You know who else is really? I mean, she's always been hot, but I just feel like she's just getting better looking. Is Mandy Rose? I feel like she gets better looking by the day.
I think I said this when we had Adam on the show to take your place in the last one. She actually got Anna to say something. Like, Anna looked at the TV and said, "Wow." And I was like, I got a pretty decent girlfriend. So, let's move on. Let's talk about who won these matches. All right, in our opening match, we had the Hart Foundation of Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart taking on Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. Now, Daniel, congratulations. You won a match on a show that apparently doesn't count. So, Dan, you're up 1-0. The match took 14 minutes and 8 seconds and ended with Jeff Hardy locked in the sharpshooter while the Anvil occupied Matt outside. The show begins, and we have a fantastic singing of America the Beautiful by, let's go with Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin doing a duet. Because, let's be honest, those were the two best renditions ever. The European Championship was on the line as Dan decided to pick a lumberjack match that featured, let me find his pick here, Davey Boy Smith against Commissioner William Regal. The lumberjacks for this match included Rick Martel, Tom Zank, Bob Orton, the Magnificent Morocco, Billy Jack Haynes, Hercules Hernandez, Harley Race, who I felt honestly cheated him not being in this show, Greg Valentine, Dino Bravo, the Rougeau brothers, Adrian Adonis, Dangerous Danny Davis, Tito Santana, Butch Reed, Coco Beware, another man I felt was cheated out of this show, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Honky Tonk Man, who should have been the Intercontinental pick for you, Daniel, B. Brian Blair, Jim Brunzell, and Andre the Giant. From WrestleMania 17, the Lumberjacks were just incredible. X-Pac, Albert, Grandmaster Sexay, Steve Blackman, Taz, who should have been Jaime's hardcore pick, Bradshaw, Baruch, Bull Buchanan, Kane, The Big Show, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, Kurt Angle, who should have been in this match, or show, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, Bubba Ray and Devon the Dudley Boys, The Undertaker, Steve Austin and The Rock, who I also feel Jaime cheated us out of. That match was, oddly enough, won by Jaime in 10 minutes and 10 seconds, thanks to Brass Knuckles. He cheated, he won, he's the European champion. Jaime, Dan, I know, but you can't make everybody happy, you gotta give them a reason to boo every once in a while. The next match was scheduled for one fall. It is a 6-man tag team match. Daniel, you selected King Kong Bundy, the Junkyard Dog, and Brutus Beefcake, and Jaime took Right to Censor. Daniel, since you said the last match was bullshit, I'm pretty sure you can figure out where I'm going with this. Defend your picks. You can't. You can't defend them.
Hey. In my defense, I only gave you one troll match this time around. And I made it a match that was kind of the pee break.
Oh, yeah, and I gave it a pee break time. Jaime, do you think you won this match?
Well, if that...
It's a yes or no question. Yes or no, did you win this match?
No.
You did. Although I should change it.
There's no way I win that match, Jaime. That's why I gave him a throw. That's why I gave him a throw.
Oh my goodness.
I was giving you a layup on that one.
It ended in 6-12 because it had to end in 6-12. Alright. The Hardcore Championship was on the line in a fatal 4-way match. Hillbilly Jim took on the Dynamite Kid, who took on Raven, who took on Mick Foley. I didn't pick a winner for this match yet because I wanted each of you to tell me why you picked these guys. Jaime, we know why you picked the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you told us why you picked Raven. Who do you think should win this match?
This is a thing that Mick Foley's good even if he doesn't win, even if he's the hardcore legend. So, but for Raven, this is a good thing for him.
Okay, so why didn't you pick Taz? Why didn't you pick Kane, somebody who's very familiar with this stuff? Or Just Incredible, a former ECW champion?
Yeah, that was the one that I was kind of like, huh?
Well, because, to be honest, Taz is kind of an underrated performer. Like, he could have competed on the higher card titles if there aren't other big names here.
So why didn't you pick him?
I'll go with storytelling. I'm going more with storytelling.
Did you watch any of Taz's stuff in ECW? He told fantastic stories.
Bits and pieces.
Daniel, why did you pick your guys while I try to get a headache to go away?
Honestly, I kind of screwed up with some of my picks. I should have had Hillbilly Jim I picked just because this is the type of match that you would see him in on a card like this. Somebody that the fans love, they can get behind, somebody, an underdog. I really should have went with Jake Robertson here instead of Dynamite Kid, but I screwed up there. But if it's anybody from my side, it's got to be Hillbilly Jim.
Fair enough. You both made terrible arguments. Jaime, I hate you right now, and Daniel, you were right, you screwed up.
I was right, I gotta win. Since I admitted my flaws.
No. I wanted to screw you both over and say that somebody else won, but it would have to be somebody from both that appeared in both shows, and none of those people I like. And I'm not giving this win to either one of you, but if I had to pick one, Raven wins because of the flock, and he does it real sneaky-like, I think. I don't know. I was still peeing at this time because the bathroom lines were long. Jaime, I'm giving you the win just by default because somebody had to win. Let's move on to something a little bit happier. The next match is the Show Stealer match, a singles one-on-one competition. Daniel, you chose Rowdy Roddy Piper. Jaime, you went with Chris Jericho. Daniel, defend Rowdy Roddy.
He is the Chris Jericho before Chris Jericho. He was the guy that everyone loved. He could spit the game. He could back it up. One of the greatest in-ring performers in my eyes of all time. Easily a top 5 guy. You can argue it if you want. Definitely top 10. But this was around the time where he was really starting to come about, rise up even more than what he already was. And I think Chris Jericho still had some explaining to do back in around this time.
Fair enough. Jaime, why did you pick Y2J?
Because I picked Rowdy Piper.
Probably.
Aside from that, there's also the thing that, you know how these guys could go at it week after week after week, and then after the match, let's say you pick Jericho to win. After the match, like, Roddy will just say, okay, you earned it.
Yeah, I don't think Roddy Piper would go and say that. Daniel, you picked wrong. You had Ricky Steamboat and Harley Race there. Or even Tito Santana.
Your handwriting sucks.
What?
Your handwriting sucks.
Whatever. Jaime, you had Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, The Rock, Eddie Guerrero, Taz even, again. But I get why you made the picks. They're solid picks. But Daniel, congratulations. In 19 minutes and 25 seconds, Chris Jericho submits to Rowdy Roddy Piper. Jaime, you have a 3-2 advantage going into a tag team 2-on-2 match that you decided to pick as a TLC match. You went with Edge and Christian. Daniel, explain your pick of the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov.
This was the other tag team I had lined up for a tag team match. I should have thought ahead of time of him possibly going with the TLC with the 3 teams that he had available, and I didn't. But I didn't want to take up the time to sit there and try to scramble together a different tag team. But 2 foreign heels at one point in time in their career actually would have been a great match when you think about it. Putting babyface Edge and Christian. Which they're easily tweeners. Those guys were tweeners.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So they easily could have had a build up here to where they were the baby faces, and then the Sheik and Volkov were the foreign heels that Vince loves.
Which, once again, racism galore. Jaime, congratulations. You're up 4 wins to 2. If you win any of the following matches, you clinch the show. It happened at 14:55. When an unprettier from the top of a ladder put the Iron Sheik through a table that Nikolai Volkov was on top of, Edge climbed the ladder, takes home the belts, and
That's so unrealistic because neither one of those guys are going up a ladder.
Yeah, I had to end it somehow, but that's the ending.
I'm stopping myself from laughing.
That is the choice I made, and I kind of regret it right now. We all make mistakes, obviously. That's what this show is based on. It is one gigantic mistake. Anyway, speaking of mistakes, the Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Daniel, in match number 7, You chose Randy Savage. Jaime, you made your pick. Defend test. I want you to defend this pick right now. And I want you to do it with a straight face, and I want you to look into the camera and do it, because there's no way you didn't screw up this pick.
Aside from I was trying to look for good names on your handwriting.
It's not bad handwriting. That's an excuse, and a terrible excuse. But aside from that...
Isn't Test kind of that machismo character as well? He's not as over the top as the Macho Man, and as over as well, but doesn't Test have that machismo character as well in all the characters he's portrayed, except the un-Americans?
I am waiting for you to ask me to defend my pick.
You don't have to.
I was going to say, my defense is I made the test.
Stone Cold
on Ed's handwriting.
Okay, even Steve Austin is plainly readable. The Rock, plainly readable. Kurt Angle, plainly readable.
Yeah, 100% Jaime. That's on you.
I mean, I think I sweep the last 3 matches. I'm just going to throw that out. You definitely win this one as Randy Savage drops the elbow. It was a decent match. I gave it 20 minutes and 21 seconds.
So if he would have picked somebody actually that would have been worth me defending Savage, pick Savage there. Second, it's the third to last match. He's a hype man to the crowd. He's going to get the crowd re-fired up after that horrible tag team match we just had. It was TLC. He's going to get the crowd re-up. And when you think of iconic moments and it comes to WrestleMania, you can see that elbow, which I know you can picture this with me. You can see Savage coming off the top rope, dropping an elbow on a Rock or a Stone Cold. The camera's flashing. You have that midair shot. That's an iconic WrestleMania moment that you can picture there.
Absolutely, because we've seen it. You know, I mean, and it wasn't just at a WrestleMania. We saw WCW pimp the crap out of it.
No, absolutely. I'm just so that's a real defense if he would have picked somebody that would have been worth me defending my pick.
And even then, doing it to Test, I mean, what's to say Test doesn't use this 20 minutes and 21 seconds on the largest fake stage of them all at Madison Square Garden, where this is happening, by the way, and propels himself into being that underdog, the guy that gets so close but always gets pushed down, beaten down, and before you know it, he's a top babyface, especially after Stephanie McMahon kicks his ass to the curb. Maybe that's a building block. But that's deep, Jaime. That's a terrible, terrible pick. Anyway.
Jaime, I had to go down to Ed level of thinking towards a match to try to make this one work.
But it's a beautifully, it could have been written very well. All right.
Oh, you're right.
The penultimate match on the card, one-on-one, where I picked the stipulation. Daniel, you picked Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, I don't sweep this match. I lose this match. We don't even have to go into it.
Jaime, you picked Chris Benoit. The match was a submission match, which I had written down earlier. Daniel, why did you pick Jake the Snake?
Thinking back on it, I probably should have went with somebody else. So if I could go back and change the pick before even knowing the stipulation, I'd probably go with Andre here. I don't know why I didn't go with Andre.
Interesting.
But I'd probably go with Andre here because I had Hulk made up for the final match the whole time.
Okay.
So that's probably what I do.
That's the obvious choice for your main event.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was I was mad at myself that I forgot to get Jake into the hardcore match, so I got tunnel vision on getting him into a match.
Okay. Jaime?
So can I change my pick?
No. Jaime. I know why you picked Chris Benoit, and it just so happened to luck out that you got a submission match. Are you guys ready to both curse me? Because this is how this match went down. Jake the Snake came down with his snake, whichever one you want to have.
Chris Benoit taps out to the snake, choking him out.
While I wish I would have thought of that, but no. Perry Saturn and Eddie Guerrero, who inexplicably were left off the card as part of the Radicals, come down and kidnap the snake. Then, with the referee distracted because of the snake napping, Benoit uses a chair, the ref just happens to see it, disqualifies Chris Benoit. Daniel, You win this match even though you came up with a better ending than I did.
Well, no. So the only reason why I came up with that ending is because it's you.
Oh, I should. I'm literally
that's
like.
a very Ed thing to do.
Isn't it? That's such an Ed thing to do, isn't it?
I am cursing myself that I did not think of that. Like, it just. I am so angry right now. It's. Anyway. We're tied 4-4. Everything hangs in the balance. At WrestleMania 18, we saw the passing of the torch match, which made a lot of sense because The Rock stayed in the WWE for less than a year after that. But at WrestleMania 17 minus 3, which I guess is 14, but 14 sucked, so anyway. The WWF Championship is on the line in a grudge match. Wrestling's past versus wrestling's present, who is in charge of wrestling's future. Hulkamaniac and his 24-inch pythons, brother, and all of his Hulkamaniacs around the world, including the 15,000 Hulkamaniacs in the Madison Square Garden, dude, are going to take on, and they're going to smack down Triple H. And then there's Triple H, DX, New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, China, they're all there. The corporation, the nose that knows everything. Spitting water and kicking ass, sledgehammers galore. It all gets brought down to this. Daniel, your pick needs no explanation because he's really the only real choice you have. So, Jaime, why Triple H here? Why not Stone Cold? Why not The Rock? Why not The Undertaker? Why Triple H?
Yeah. Like what I said, I might have screwed in some people's eyes, but Triple H was my clear choice because, as Dan said, he hasn't really peaked to that level, but I think this will be the one that makes him peak.
I feel like you both are kind of missing the point in all of this. This match, or this show, is not to build up any other shows. It's literally tunnel vision. This show. It's not to make something else later on. This is it. You use the guys that are at the top of their game during this time, right here, right now. You have two of the hottest guys in the biggest boom of wrestling, where 10 million homes were tuning in every Monday night to watch WCW or the WWF. It was there. And you have two of the biggest guys in The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you didn't put them anywhere on the card, Jaime. I want to give this match to you because I feel like you lose all the time in this stuff. But Triple H is just not on Hulk's level at this point. Hulk Hogan with a leg drop. 16 minutes. Flat. He retains the WWF Championship. Daniel, congratulations. You win this card.
Jaime, I shouldn't have won.
You gave away 2 matches. You did.
I did.
You did. Unfortunately, Jaime, you did too. I'm struggling to... I mean, was it because you couldn't read Stone Cold Steve Austin? Was it because you couldn't read The Rock or The Undertaker? I mean, you knew they were there.
I know, I knew they were there. That's why I said I might have screwed this pick in somebody's eyes, but I've blocked my eyes on Triple H. Like, he was my choice because I knew somebody was gonna pick Hogan.
So did Stephanie McMahon. I mean, come on. Anyway, Daniel, would you like to gloat? I'm giving you gloating time.
No, because me and Jaime both screwed up in different spots. So I'm not going to gloat. I'm going to say, good game to you, sir. And haha, bitch, I won.
Okay. The next time we do this, it'll be WrestleMania 1 versus WrestleMania 31. 30-year difference. There should be no crossover as far as I'm aware. The match, or the show, will take place at the LA Coliseum. We're going to go outdoors. We're going to see Jim Ross in a toga. Yes, that is right. This is going to be a midday Wrestlefakia. I like that. We should get a logo done. Daniel, work on it. Wrestlefakia. We need to make this happen. Stay tuned for that. That'll be the next time we do any fantasy booking stuff. All right. You guys got your hot girl of the show. Jaime, you got your fighter match of the show. Actually, 2 of them. So I'm going to give you my one big takeaway. And Daniel, I'm going to need your help on this. Heard something this morning. Joe Flacco may be able to play on Sunday. But could they sit a healthy Joe Flacco in favor of that other guy?
Could they? Yeah, they could.
Will they?
I wouldn't want to be John Harbaugh.
Interesting. And I get what you're saying because there's no real right way to answer this question unless he puts Joe Flacco out there in the hopes that he's going to get injured. Who are they playing this week?
Atlanta.
Not a good defense. Yeah,
This is what I think should happen. Flacco is going to get 3 days of practice. If he doesn't look up to par, inactive. Not ready to go.
Oh, kind of a good PR thing right there to save him face so they can start Jackson without a guilty conscience. I get it.
And then deal with it next week.
I get it. I like it. Maybe Jackson goes out, blows the doors off, and it's a moot point. Maybe he sucks,
See, here's the thing, right? Is I like Lamar. Do I think we win the Super Bowl this year? No.
If you thought they won the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, you
I mean, I thought we had a shot, right? We still actually have a realistic shot to win the division after the Steelers lose last week.
The Browns had a shot. It was a small one, but the Browns had a shot at winning the Super Bowl in week 1.
Oh, you guys had a shot to win the Super Bowl week 1 if they start Baker and fire here before the season starts.
Jeez, believe me. But thank you for setting up my next point. I'm going to cut you off right there. I heard something, actually talking to a buddy of mine. An interesting coach got fired in college. He's a young guy, likes to pass a lot. The Browns need to pass a lot, given their skill positions and what they have. Cliff Kingsbury is the next coach of the Cleveland Browns. And am I crazy? Because honestly, I don't think I am. His offense.
I don't think you're crazy, but I don't think that's the. I think the next coach of the Cleveland Browns is in the NFL somewhere.
Interesting.
I think the next coach of the Cleveland Browns is coming from a playoff team. Going to be a coordinator.
Does the Bill Belichick coaching tree get larger? We'll find out come the end of the season because we've been told Greg Williams is going to be the head man for the Browns, and it hasn't looked terrible under Greg Williams, but I give that a lot more to Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb and not, Hugh Jackson, Tyrod Taylor, and Carlos Hyde being that bad.
I am excited that the Browns will not be the worst team in the division next year.
They won't be the worst team in the NFL. Hell, they may have a winning record. Jaime, what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you have any?
C. That's his thoughts. C.
Well, yeah, but what are your thoughts, Jaime? Running out of time.
I'm just happy Cleveland Browns are starting to win. Like, you talked about a possible new coach, but I think it's a player thing. They're a team that, now that we make Baker Mayfield there, it's a team that will be carried not by the coaching, but by the player. Some NBA teams are like that.
That's true. But you know what? And I just thought about this, and it fills my heart with joy. You know what makes me happy? Is that the Cleveland Browns will not have to draft a quarterback in the first round next year.
Hopefully not for many years after that either.
And it just, they may actually be able to get an offensive line to protect that quarterback. Because they've drafted good ones, they just haven't been able to protect them, and they've gone to hell. Brandon Wheaton could have been a good quarterback. I still think Johnny Manziel had a shot.
Yeah, and then he throws 6 picks in the CFL in his first game.
Daniel, what did we miss from this week?
We actually didn't really miss anything at all. It's a first for me. We didn't really miss anything. we're tabling some stuff for a different show that has me excited. I'm hoping that maybe we can get together and record this possibly tomorrow or Friday. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, from my aspect, we didn't really miss anything.
Okay, you said we didn't miss anything. Did we maybe get something? Did you get something that maybe is of something to talk about? Maybe in the mail, perhaps?
I mean, I did. I got my merch in the mail. I will be sporting that here next time we go live on Twitch. I will at least have the hat on.
Now, what kind of merch did you get? What is it from? Tell us about this merch.
I got the Caps, Locks, and Chair Shots merch. I got a hat, a shirt, and a decal, which you can purchase from any of us. You can hit all of us up on Twitter. I am at Danny Bananas. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Danny Bananas. You can find Ed on Twitter at Ed at the Journal, and you can find Jaime on Twitter at The Great JLA.
Ooh, look at Dan doing my commercial. Very nice. Jaime, what did we miss from this week?
Speaking of missed, the merch missed me. I always show you this card. Well, speaking of things we missed, I actually missed saying that, for the fight, fight of the show is done, but we actually missed that Liddell versus Ortiz 3 actually happened, but not the result we expected.
Well, yeah, that's very true. I'm going to talk about 2, maybe 3 things we missed. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson had their pay-per-view, which TBS screwed up, and it became free. Sorry for the people that bought it. We didn't talk about the War Games match hardly at all, or even that entire pay-per-view, which was just utterly fantastic.
We did miss that, you're right.
We forgot to talk about the women's TLC stuff.
Well, that's why we're going to give them another show later this week, so we can make up for all that.
That'll be a bonus show, and Daniel, that one will be on Twitch TV, so you guys can tune into that. And what else did we miss? Is that everything?
Sounds like everything to me.
Fantastic. Well, if you guys find out anything that we missed, or anything you guys want to talk to us about, or anything you guys want to hear us talk about, you can hit us up right here in our iTunes comments. You can also hit us up on our Podbean comments. You can talk to Dan on Twitch. You can talk to all of us on Twitter. Dan gave you the information. Or you can even hit us up in our email. See us in person. Say hi. You want a shirt? Come let us know. But if you don't want to talk to us and you don't want to hear from us, hell, if you're not even down with us, we got 2 words for you. Keep listening.